So this is my reflection on chapter 1 and 2. Right away, the first thing that really caught my attention was this quote that says, "As teachers, we must become aware of our personal histories and cultures to understand feelings, hopes, and aspirations." And it really made me think about how teaching is so much more than helping students learn or relating facts or helping them pass a test or helping them even become better citizens. And not that any of that is bad necessarily, but it's about connection. And chapter 1 really talked about this concept of connection in different ways. The first thing that I saw was that it's gradual and continual. We can't expect to connect with students instantly, or even within maybe a couple days or a couple weeks. Sometimes it can take a lot longer than that, and it has to continue. Like, students aren't so it's not just on surface level, like they're not one-dimensional. And with that, prior to any of this, it's also understanding our own biases and understanding the way we view things so that we can better understand our students, so that when we come to know students who are English learners or who have different needs, we can learn more about their basic information, like their home culture, home life, prior schooling, how long they've been in the United States, or any other factors that are going to help us understand who they are. And that way we can learn how to validate their culture, language, or their academic competence. I think oftentimes students feel very devalued, or what they already know isn't good enough simply because they don't speak English. And so I think it's very, very important to make note of that, and just really understand and value those cultural differences as something that doesn't have to be negative. It's just different, and changing the misconception that it's a problem, but rather it's just a part of who they are, and it just adds to who they are as a student and as a person. I also really liked this quote: "A teacher can unintentionally perpetuate inequalities inherent in the dominant society," because it's just as true as the first one I talked about, how we have the ability to uplift those hopes and dreams, but we also have the ability to do the opposite and just perpetuate those stereotypes or be just another teacher. And for that, chapter 2 really emphasized communication. At least that's what I received from that, and how we must determine like language proficiency for each student, and that's a part of getting to know them and understanding who they are, because in the more we communicate with them and see where they are, the more we're going to understand them, but also the level they are at and what we can do to help them, and also presenting those opportunities for social interaction with their peers, but also with us as teachers through journals and written stories, and just embracing their native language and allowing communication in whatever way possible. And in establishing that, we can also get to know their cognitive abilities and their personalities, and be better about the way we correct their mistakes and we set goals for them, because if we know them, then we know which goals are appropriate and we know how to correct them in a way that they will still feel valued and respected, and that and capable. So I found a lot of value in these two chapters, and I hope to implement that in my classroom someday.